That's far enough. We don't allow tailgating in this facility.
Tailgating? I just finished my run. I'm gonna grab my bag.
Members scan in every time. Rules are rules.
Then let's follow them. Green light, satisfied?
Go ahead.
Danielle Carter had just finished her workout when a white woman blocked the locker room door and screamed, "You do not belong here. Show me your pass or I'm calling the cops." People were watching. Phones were out. And the woman grabbed the door like she owned the whole building. But here's the crazy part. What she didn't know is that the quiet black woman she was humiliating was actually one of the highest-ranked cybersecurity officers in the entire state, someone who could shut down this woman's whole life with one phone call. And when the truth finally came out, everyone in that gym froze. What happened next changed the entire city. Before we start, make sure you subscribe so you never miss stories like this. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. I said stop walking. The voice cracked like ice behind Danielle. She turned sharply. A tall woman with stiff blonde hair and a pastel blue fleece tied around her waist stood in front of the women's locker room door, arms locked, feet wide, like she was guarding a bank vault. "You can't go in there," the woman snapped. "I've been watching you. You've been wandering around. You don't look like a resident. I'm going to need proof." Danielle blinked. She wasn't even breathing hard from the workout. She just wanted her shower. "I'm a member," Danielle said softly. "I come here every morning." The woman scoffed. "Right. And I'm Beyoncé." Gym members slowed down, forming a half circle. Some whispered. Some smirked. No one stepped in. Danielle Carter looked like the quiet type. Slim, athletic, brown skin glowing with sweat. Braided ponytail pulled back tight. Black leggings, plain sweatshirt. Small duffel bag, faded, frayed, almost too old to carry. She looked like any tired young woman trying to stay healthy while working long hours. No designer brands. No loud personality. No jewelry. No flashy anything. But behind those calm brown eyes lived storms no one could see. Places she'd been. Wars she'd fought, not with guns but with code. Most people would never guess she once led a silent digital strike team that stopped a major attack on state infrastructure. Most people would never guess she had clearance higher than half the government. Most people would never guess anything, because Danielle didn't talk about herself. She didn't boast. She didn't push back. She stayed quiet. Always quiet. It was her armor. But today, that quiet was about to be tested. The woman pushed her shoulder forward. Her name tag glinted. Susan Merriweather, Pilates instructor. Volunteer Safety Committee leader. Perfect. "I've seen you," Susan hissed. "You tailgate behind real members. You slip in when the door shuts. Don't lie." "I scanned my key," Danielle replied. "Then show it to me." "You're not staff," Danielle said. Gasps circled the room. Susan smirked. "Sweetheart, women like me built this place. Women like me make sure people like you don't sneak in. People like you." Danielle felt her chest tighten, but she kept her breath steady. "Step aside," she whispered. "No." Susan slammed her palm against the wall beside the door. "You look suspicious. You don't match the typical resident profile. And if you take one more step, I'm calling the police." A man across the room chuckled. Another woman folded her arms and nodded like Susan was doing community service. "That's right, Sue," someone muttered. "Keep it safe." Danielle opened her bag and pulled out her phone. Her hands were steady, until they weren't. She pressed record. "Are you refusing me entry?" she asked. Susan's eyes widened at the camera. But then her lips curled into a cold smile. "Oh, recording me? That's real classy." She leaned close to the frame. "I'm protecting this facility. And you," she pointed right at Danielle's chest, "are trespassing." Danielle swallowed. "Ma'am," she said, quiet but firm, "I've done nothing wrong." "Oh, you've done plenty wrong," Susan barked. "Your attitude. Your wandering. Your tone. And don't get smart with me. I know trouble when I see it." "Trouble?" Danielle repeated. Susan's eyes flicked up and down Danielle's body like she was scanning a barcode. "You look out of place," she said. "Like you don't belong in a premium building." The room felt colder. Danielle tried again. "I showed my pass when I came in." "To who?" Susan snapped. "Do you expect me to just believe you?" "I expect you," Danielle replied softly, "to stop harassing me." Susan's whole face trembled. Her fists balled up. "That's it," she said, grabbing her phone. "I'm calling the police. They'll figure out who you really are." Someone clapped in support. Someone laughed. Danielle's hand shook harder now. Not with fear. With restraint. She hit zoom on her camera. The red recording dot burned like an ember. Go ahead, she said. Just then, a young gym employee, thin, nervous, polo shirt too big, stepped into the circle. Is there a problem? He asked. Oh, thank God, Susan said. Yes. Please remove this trespasser. The kid blinked. Who? Her voice exploded. Her. This woman. She does not belong. The kid frowned and held out his hand. Miss Carter? He asked gently. You left your water bottle at the desk. I was coming to give it to you. The room froze. The kid turned to Susan. She's a premium member. One of the longest members we have. She checks in every morning. She has full access. Color drained from Susan's face. The ice in her voice melted into shock. Wait, what? She's a member? The kid nodded. Yes, very much. People murmured. Eyes widened. A couple members backed away from Susan like she had a disease. Danielle said nothing. She kept recording. Susan gulped. Her jaw spasmed. Her hands twitched. She wasn't melting down because she was wrong, but because she had been wrong publicly. Is there some mistake? She whispered. No, ma'am, the kid said. There's not. The kid stepped beside Danielle, like a shield. That was the first shift, the first crack. But the real flip? The real twist? That was coming in chapter 2. And when it hit, it would destroy everything Susan thought she knew about power. Danielle lowered the phone slightly. Only slightly. The silence grew heavy. Members stared at the floor. Some covered their faces. A few mouthed the word sorry, but never said it out loud. Danielle felt her heartbeat settling, her chest loosening. But she didn't smile, didn't gloat, didn't step forward. She just breathed, slow, steady, controlled, like a soldier trained for war. Like someone who had survived far worse than a suburban Pilates instructor with a power complex. Danielle finally spoke. Her voice was soft, too soft for the moment, but cutting, sharp enough to leave a scar. You didn't see a threat, she said. You saw a black woman. Susan broke. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Just fear. Pure, shaking fear. Danielle walked past her. She didn't push. She didn't shove. She didn't look back. She simply said one more thing. Next time you decide who belongs, look in a mirror first. And with that, the door closed behind her. But the story had only just begun. The locker room door clicked shut behind Danielle. Warm air wrapped around her body, but she didn't feel it. Her hands still trembled. Her breath still felt too tight, too small for her chest. Outside the door, she could hear Susan's voice, shaking now. Not icy. Not bold. Not powerful. Just scared. And Danielle knew this wasn't over. In fact, this was the moment everything turned. Because not even 30 seconds later, the locker room door burst open. It slammed so loudly that several women inside jumped. It was Susan. But this time she didn't charge in like a guard dog. She stumbled, face pale, hands open, eyes wide like she had just seen a ghost. Miss Carter, she gasped. I need to speak with you. Danielle didn't even turn fully around. She just stood still, towel in her hand, half dressed for the shower. No, Danielle said quietly. Not loud, not sharp, just final. But I didn't know, Susan stammered. I didn't realize. Danielle slowly lifted her phone. The red recording dot blinked. You made yourself very clear, she said calmly. And now the entire locker room watched. I swear it was a misunderstanding, Susan babbled. You have to understand, I thought. You thought I didn't belong. Danielle didn't raise her voice. Didn't even look angry. Her composure was scarier than yelling. And you thought that, she continued, without a single reason except what I look like. Women in towels, robes, and workout clothes froze in awkward silence. Some dropped their eyes. Some bit their lips. Some whispered, that's messed up. One older woman whispered to another, she's always doing this. First time someone caught her on camera. Susan's breath hitched. Her posture folded in on itself. Please, turn that off, she begged. No, Danielle said. Not until this is done. Danielle set her bag on the bench. Since you seem to care so much about member safety, she said, you should know who you just tried to block. She pulled out a slim leather wallet. Black. Unmarked. Simple. But inside was a badge. Not a police badge. Not a security badge. A State Cyber Defense Division executive badge, edged in gold, with embedded authentication chips. The room gasped. Even the air felt like it sucked inward. Susan staggered backward. Her hands clutched her fleece as if it were the only thing keeping her from falling. I didn't, her voice cracked. You didn't know who I was, Danielle said. And that's fine. I don't ask for special treatment. Her eyes darkened. But you treated me like a criminal before you even asked my name. Danielle held the badge up, not to brag but to finish the truth. I'm Danielle Carter, she said. Senior Cyber Operations Chief for the State Security Command. Even the women who didn't understand government titles could feel the weight of the words. One whispered, "Oh my God, she's serious." I helped design half the security systems this entire city uses, Danielle continued. I worked 12-hour nights stopping real threats. Actual criminals. Actual danger. She stared into Susan's eyes. And you? You stopped me because I look out of place in a gym I helped protect. The words hit like stones. Dry, sharp, heavy. Susan pressed a hand to her chest. She looked like she might faint. I didn't know, she whispered. That's the problem, Danielle answered. The gym manager suddenly appeared in the doorway, short, red-haired, and already sweating like he sprinted here. His name tag read, Harold Pruitt, General Manager. He looked from Danielle to Susan, and instantly knew. Miss Carter, he croaked, I am so sorry. We told staff and volunteers not to profile, not to confront members. Volunteers like her? Danielle asked. Harold winced. Yes. Then he turned to Susan. But he didn't ask for her side. He already knew. Susan, he said coldly, hand over your volunteer badge and your staff ID. What? She gasped. Her voice broke like cheap plastic. You can't be serious. You racially profiled a premium member, Harold snapped. And you did it in front of witnesses on camera while threatening to call the police. You're done. The room exploded in whispers. Oh wow, finally. She deserves it. Susan's whole face collapsed. You're firing me? She choked. Over her? Danielle didn't move. But she spoke. This isn't about me, she said. This is about your choices. Her voice stayed soft, but cut deeper than any scream. You treated me like a danger because of my skin, Danielle said. You embarrassed yourself, not because I'm important, but because you decided I wasn't. Susan's breath caught in her throat. Tears pooled in the corners of her eyes. But karma wasn't done. Harold stepped closer. You're banned from the facility. Effective immediately. She gasped like he struck her. You can't ban me. I've been here for 10 years. I teach classes. You used those 10 years to bully members, Harold said flatly. You're gone. Take your things and leave. Susan's body trembled violently. Her lips quivered. Her knees bent. She looked around the room for support. Anyone. Someone. But every single woman looked away. Every single one. Her ice melted into nothing. She shoved her badge into Harold's hand, grabbed her fleece and stumbled toward the door. Right before she stepped out, she looked at Danielle. Broken. I'm sorry, she whispered. Barely a breath. Danielle didn't smile. Didn't nod. Didn't offer comfort. Be better next time, she said. And Susan left, destroyed not by force but by truth. Silence filled the locker room. Then a woman with silver dreadlocks walked up to Danielle. I'm so sorry you went through that, she said softly. Another woman added, she shouldn't have treated you like that. None of you should have stayed quiet. A younger girl whispered, thank you for standing up. Not just for you, for us. Danielle nodded. She didn't cry. She didn't crack. Her strength was steady, quiet, and warm. Like a flame that didn't need to roar to burn. She finally spoke. I don't expect people to know who I am, she said. I just expect people to treat others like humans. The women nodded. Some wiped tears. Some touched her shoulder gently. The air felt different now. Softer. Cleaner. Danielle finally turned to her shower. She needed it. She deserved it. But before she stepped inside, she said one last thing. Power is not loud, she whispered. It's what you choose to do when nobody knows your name. As the water started running, someone outside the shower whispered. She didn't raise her voice once, and she still changed everything. And that was the truth. Danielle's quiet strength echoed louder than any shout. Her calm broke a woman's pride. Her truth revealed her power. Her presence exposed a problem people pretended didn't exist. And her final words became a seed, a lesson the entire gym would carry long after she left. Next time you decide who belongs, look in the mirror first. If you want more powerful stories like this, make sure you subscribe right now. And tell us in the comments. If you were Danielle, would you have forgiven Susan? Why or why not?